Hello everybody, it's Matt here from NukaMedia Exotics, and today I have an Avicularia juruensis tarantula egg sac. The common name of the species is the Peru Purple. It's the Morphotype 2 of the Avicularia juruensis species. So there's the egg sac sitting right there. I had already pulled it before I started recording actually, although I should have got it on recording. Next time I will. And then there's the adult female here that actually laid those eggs, and it's time for her to get an enclosure upgrade. I wanted to put her in a little bit nicer of an enclosure, and since I finally got the eggs away from her, you don't want to rehouse them while they have the eggs. It's too much of a disturbance to them. So now that I actually separate her from the egg sac, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade her into a nicer enclosure. So the enclosure that I'm going to put her in is an 8 by 8 by 12 inch Exoterra Nano Tall enclosure. These are the enclosures that I use for pretty much all of my adult arboreals, unless they're exceptionally large. Then I'll put them in something a little bit larger, like the Zilla front opening enclosure is what I use for my exceptionally large species, like really large Poecilotheria. I have like one striata that's big enough that I put her in one of those. But we're gonna go ahead and put this girl in here, and I'm going to use my hand because I do know this animal, and generally, Avicularia species are not too prone to biting. I'm sure there's some that are, but I know this one isn't too prone to try and get me. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap her in there with my finger, try to prod her in. She's being a little bit stubborn. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to get off her cork bark piece there. Like, come on, I put this nice enclosure together for you. Go on and check it out. You'd think she'd be happy, but this is how it is. This is how it is when you're working with tarantulas, and probably a lot of pets in general. So there we go. I finally got her on the little branch there, and looks like she's gonna go around exploring a bit, or not. Maybe she'll just sit there on the little branch for a while. Probably takes a lot out of her laying all those eggs. She's still a little bit tired. So there we go. She got her in the new enclosure. Adult female Avicularia juruensis Morphotype 2. And now here we are with the eggs. And this is the cup that I'm showing you guys that I put the little slings in, or the eggs. I open up the egg sac and you put them in there. This is what I use as an incubator cup. I don't put them in anything special. I just leave them on the shelf in a room. Temperature is about 75 to 80 degrees. Probably doesn't even reach 80. Probably 75 to 78 in the room, and they do very well. So I'm going to go ahead and open this egg sac up. It took me, I separated this egg sac from this adult female here about 30 days, give or take a few days from when she laid it. So that's generally the rule of thumb, is you usually want to leave the eggs in with the mother for around 30 days. Some species will be a little more, some species will be a little less. But for this species, you'll see here, I'm going to try to open this up as gently as I can. You can already see those little legs kicking around in there. I'm trying to give you guys a little peek. But yeah, you just want to be very careful when you're tearing it. It might not look like I'm being careful, but I am. You don't want to get any of them caught in the little creases of the webbing there. They can if you pull it wrong. So I'm being careful not to pull it incorrectly and have one of them get trapped in there. And so there they are. And they're looking good. They're really dark. They're in heavy pre-molt, as you can see. When they darken up like that, they're in pre-molt. They're getting ready to molt. So definitely want to leave them alone after this. If I knew that they were in pre-molt like that, I probably would have just let them molt, but didn't know until I opened it. So there they are. Everyone likes to see the little slings climbing around. Some people don't. Some people think it's creepy looking, but come on, that's cool. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put them into the little makeshift incubator cup that I have here. Now there's really no good way to do this right here. So like a few of them kind of slid in. It's like a trampoline though. It's really soft. They're not, they're good. And I'm going to try to shake off as many of them as I can gently into the cup here. They're doing very well. I didn't see any duds in here. And the ones that really don't want to come off, I'm just going to leave the remains of the egg sac in there, and they can climb off themselves, or Some of them will stay on there, and that's perfectly fine. And I'll give you guys a little glimpse of them climbing around for a minute here. So Avicularia juruensis, Morphotype 2, common name also known as the Peru Purple tarantula. So yeah, these guys are a great Avicularia species. I mean, sometimes it's nice to mix it up from the more common species, such as the just Avicularia, and whatever else. Check out my Instagram for photos when they're available. And I'm going to go ahead and seal these guys up. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at NukaMedia Exotics and www.nukamediaexotics.com.